Good afternoon, Musketeers. It's November 1st, 2019. I'm Jacob Smith.
And I'm Jake Henson. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Wildfires continue to wreak havoc on the state of California. On Thursday, a brush fire began in the San Bernardino area, which quickly grew to engulf 200 acres. Within a few hours, 6 homes were destroyed by the flames. About 500 homes have been evacuated and parts of Highway 18 have been shut down. As there are multiple fires spreading across California, many local firefighting squads have to wait while the aircrafts and other tools are being used in other parts of the states. The Jurupa Valley fire has devoured 300 acres and led to the evacuation of 3,000 residents. However, on a lighter note, firefighters believe they have turned the corner on the Kincaid fire. The fire had destroyed 266 structures and over 76,000 acres. Authorities report that it was 47% controlled by Wednesday, stating that, quote, "We believe that most of the threat is now in our rearview mirror, and we are moving forward here," end quote. "We want to thank all the men and women working to fight these fires, and we hope that everyone in California is safe."
Early Thursday morning, a fire on a train in Pakistan tragically took the lives of 65 people. Authorities cite the explosion of a natural gas cylinder, which was being used by a passenger to cook breakfast, as the cause of the accident. Many of the passengers were lost due to the fire, although some leapt from the moving train cars, hoping to escape the flames. This is the worst accident on a Pakistani railway in over a decade.
A woman found dead last week near Cincinnati School was identified Monday as 18-year-old Bailey Wall. Wall, alongside 25-year-old Gary Eubanks Jr., was a suspect of a hotel robbery that occurred in Daphne, Alabama. The two allegedly robbed the Microtel Inn on October 21st. Eubanks was armed with a gun. Wall's body was found 2 days later behind the Woodward High School baseball field. Her death was listed as apparent homicide by the Hamilton County Coroner's Office, and police say it is suspicious. Police are still searching for Eubanks. Angela Wall, the victim's mother, asked for positive comments about her daughter on social media, saying, quote, "People are going to judge her for one stupid act that we don't even know the full details of," end quote.
Good news for all of our soon-to-be graduates out there. A new study says that Cincinnati is the second best paying in the country for people under 25, thanks to the low cost of living and amazing career opportunities the city has to offer. The study states that young Cincinnatians make an average of $31,000 a year, as opposed to the national average of $26,000. I think it's safe to say it's a great day to be from the 513.
Mental health is a serious issue that many college students struggle with.
Delaney Sprague recently took a deeper look into the issue.
My name is Katie Rowe, and I'm the Wellness and Coaching Coordinator from TriHealth, and I work here on the campus for the Xavier students.
My name's Tiana Vozar. I'm a senior psychology major at Xavier University. I'm from Canton, Ohio.
The most prevalent mental health issues facing college students today are going to be anxiety and depression.
There's a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with that. That can come with substance abuse, it can come with alcohol abuse.
I think students may have a greater chance of developing a mental health issue as they come to college.
There are always situations that can exacerbate or elicit development of these kinds of issues.
Having less support around them as college students, they're probably away from their families for the first time. There's less structure in the environment. I think all those things contribute.
We're coming into young adulthood and trying to learn how to, live on your own, manage your own finances, and find yourself, and that's a time that can be stressful, and stress can oftentimes induce a lot of mental health issues.
I think over the past few years, what the data shows is that there are more students suffering from and mental health issues. College campuses across the country are seeing a rise in students coming to counseling services and needing help college campuses and counseling centers in particular are struggling to have enough resources for students on campuses as well. Some of the most successful techniques that I've seen employed by students to reduce stress are going to be time management, which I think is something that's challenging for college students, especially right off the bat. Planning ahead is something that can be really beneficial.
Some people find that writing their feelings down really helps. I like to make lists, so I write to-do lists for what I have to do, and it kind of clears my mind a little bit.
And then not only just for your classes and events or meetings, but scheduling in that time to eat, scheduling in that time to exercise, or some other kind of self-care.
Another thing you can do is make sure that you're taking time to talk to people that support you. And so if that means making calls back home, if that means even calling your friends from back home, that can really help with a lot of these issues.
I think just finding good support systems is another thing that's really important, whether that's counseling services on campus, making sure you have friends and family that you can lean on during difficult times, and finding those trusted people is another really important part. Making sure that you feel that belonging can really help at least decrease some of that anxiety, some of that isolation that students might feel when they first come to campus.
Student Government Association elections are coming up. Compared to last year's 4 tickets for the executive positions, this year only 1 team is running. Manur Zara, Thomas Webby, and Michaela Townsend are together running under the team title of CPP, which stands for Community, Passion, and Progress. Their mission is, quote, to bring the diverse communities of Xavier together to ensure the provision of equitable opportunity to every individual. Our united love and passion for our university will drive us to pursue the Xavier values of integrity, justice, and generosity across campus. With progress in mind, we aim to learn together, to serve together, and grow together. End quote. Although they have no competition, voters still must vote whether or not to elect them. They must receive over 50% of the voters' approval. Elections are being held Wednesday, November 6th, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., so keep an eye on your email for the voting link.
Tension this week in the CLC as Students for Life President Kristen Hawkins spoke in the Kennedy Auditorium. Many students stood outside the event holding posters opposing XU for Life. The Xavier Democrats later tweeted, quote, "We were protesting Xavier University's lack of equality of expression, not XU for Life event. We do not agree with you, but we respect your right to speak. Please do the same for us," end quote. This is not the first time the abortion debate has made news on Xavier's campus. Last year, pro-life messages drawn in chalk on the sidewalk were washed away with buckets of water. Xavier has yet to comment on this last week's protest.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Lucas Robbins and the Xavier Sports Report.
Happy Halloween, Xavier University. Welcome back to another episode of Xavier Sports. I'm Lucas Stark Robbins, and we have a ton to cover today, from basketball season beginning to an epic volleyball comeback and the weekly Robbins Watch. We have so much to cover that we can't even get into the sudden multiplication of Jacob news anchors here in studio. Now let's get things started with the volleyball team. Last Friday, they faced off in an epic battle versus conference rivals Georgetown. All hope seemed lost when the Hoyas went up 2-0 in their sets, but the Musketeers pulled off a near impossible comeback and won 3 straight sets to be victorious. Sophomore Jada Carlton continued her phenomenal season defensively, with 8 more blocks to bolster her conference lead. She also picked up 8 kills as well for a very well-rounded performance. Redshirt freshman Lauren Hanlon led the offensive attack with 12 kills and contributed 3 crucial blocks in key moments down the stretch. This was a very impressive victory that was unfortunately followed by a 0-3 rout against Villanova next night, possibly attributed to the fatigue after a very long and hard-fought game in less than 24 hours prior. Tonight, the Musketeers will challenge Marquette in a road trip against the number 10 team in the country in enemy territory. Best of luck to them on their game tonight. And now, the Xavier men's basketball season finally had their first exhibition game of the season on Wednesday in a 64-52 rout over the University of Indianapolis. Junior small forward Najee Marshall got a double-double with 14 points and 13 rebounds, crashing the boards incredibly, while senior shooting guard Quentin Gooden led the team in scoring with 16 points. Xavier dominated Indianapolis, forcing pickups and fast break points, creating 18 turnovers and holding a 12-0 edge in fast break opportunities. Xavier's offense was fed through their efforts through the paint, scoring a whopping 40 points in the interior while holding the Greyhounds to only 12 such points. Up next for the Musketeers will be another exhibition game versus Jacksonville at home Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And finally, for this week's weekly Robins Watch, the men's and women's soccer team continue to pile up accolades. On the men's team, senior Matthew Rosenberg and freshman Carson Henderlong both got on the weekly Big East honor rolls for their outstanding performances this week. Rosenberg was named Goalie of the Week for his 6 saves in 2 games and helped Xavier have its 5th shutout of the season, while Henderlong was named Freshman of the Week with a game-winning goal versus DePaul last week and an assist versus Seton Hall. Meanwhile, on the women's team, senior Grace Barr and sophomore Molly McLaughlin also got weekly honors as well. McLaughlin got on the honor roll with 2 scores in 2 games last week, including a game winner versus Marquette. Meanwhile, Barr earned her 3rd honor of the season, becoming the last week's Defender of the Week, helping limit our opponents to only 1 goal out of all the 12 shots in 2 games last week. She also aided on the offensive end with 3 goals of her own. Both teams are kicking it into high gear as the season comes to a close and will look to finish the regular season strong. And that will do it for another Xavier Sports Report. Happy Halloween, Musketeers, and as always, let's go X.
This is Xavier News.